Greetings to the 12 tribes of Yashaya that are scattered to the four corners of the world. I am back with another video. The title of this video is going to be called The Marine Kingdom is Under Our Feet. The Marine Kingdom is under our feet. All right, and I'm just going to do a lot of talking on this video. I'm really not prepared for either of the videos that I just made. I'm just kind of talking and just jotting some things down. But so listen, you all. It seems like when you think you know a lot, you realize that you don't know anything. You know, with everything that I thought I knew, um, I realized that I know nothing. I'm writing something down that just dropped in my spirit to make sure I don't forget it. Okay. All right. So I don't know. Maybe there's some videos out there. I started to watch a few videos, but maybe there are videos out there to really watch and get the whole gist of this because I'm just going to talk and put some things together, and you all, um, you might be, I don't know, you might be as amazed as I was. Okay. So I'm going to start off by talking about Nimrod. He was, he was described as a mighty man, a mighty man of valor. And we know that this was after Genesis 6, after um, the flood had taken place due to the fallen angels mating with human women and creating the Nephilim race. So, um, at that time, the women that mated with them, the book of Enoch tells us that they were turned into mermaids and or sirens. That's another name for them. They were turned into sirens. And then we also know that the scriptures tell us that they're just going to roam the earth. The earth, this is their inheritance because they were created here. So when they die, they don't leave this realm. They roam this earth as evil spirits, them and all of their descendants. So from his time to now, they're still roaming this earth as evil spirits because they have to wait until the white throne judgment. They can't go to Sheol or to to heaven or whatever because that's not their home, and so there is no place for them. This earth is their home because this is where they were created. That's a whole nother video that I took a lot of notes on and I need to make as well. How Jacob was given the right to rule. Jacob, Adam was created in heaven and sent to this earth by the Most High, and heaven is given to his seed, which is the seed of Jacob forever, because that was their inheritance, because they were his people, and that's where they came from. He knew them before they came into this world. Jeremiah 1 and 5 says, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, I ordained you, I set you apart, I ordained you a prophet to the nations. So he did not know these people. He did not know these reptilian, these hybrid, half human, half fallen angel, half cat, dog, horse, and all these so-called mythical creatures that we were told about. He These were creations of the adversaries and the fallen gods that are worshipped amongst all the hosts of heaven, that are worshipped amongst the entire world, that we have been warned time and time again not to worship. All right, so Nimrod was a mighty man. He was a man of valor. He was a Nephilim. He was a reptilian. Um he had like a mermaid mother or something, he was a mix between, if you look up Nimrod's name in the concordance, you will see that he was the offspring of a Nephilim. That's how he's described. All right. So, and he literally was being worshipped as God. He was a physical person, reptilian, that was being worshipped as the Almighty in the earth. Um, and then we know the story about Ham, um, the garments, the special garments that the Most High had given to Adam and Eve. They were passed down to Noah on the boat. Ham stole them pretty much, and he snuck them. Noah did not even realize they were missing. Nimrod was his favorite, and so he gifted it to them, these same garments. His son Tammuz, when he was hunting in the woods, um he was murdered or beheaded by Esau, and Esau took those garments, and which was the right to rule, special powers with these garments. And so, we see that Esau has been on top. um well yeah, he has come to be on top ever since then. So let's see. So Ham was given the clothes, Adam and Eve were given the right to rule the world and the sea. So remember that okay, the same day that Esau took those garments was the day that he came home famished, and he sold his birthright to Yaakov for a pot of uncooked stew that was still bloody because the meat wasn't done. Um, Esau then mixed himself with the Nephilim line. We know that in Genesis 36, it talks about Timnah and Ada and his different wives, and these were Horite women that were from Mount Seir, or from the line of Seir, the Horite, which was a Nephilim being. And then the book of Gad to Seir also talks about four mixtures of Esau. Okay, so Esau mixed with the Nephilim or the reptilian, and he mixed with the reptilian kingdom. And he then, because he felt rejected, um, he had, we know he had animosity in his heart. He said, when my father dies, I will kill my brother Jacob. And he has been killing and stealing and destroying his brother Jacob ever since. He's been oppressing us ever since. Okay, he made a covenant with the marine kingdom. He made a covenant with the adversary and the marine kingdom. And so that's why all of the nations that Esau runs has an idol and is surrounded by water, like Lady Liberty. Um there's an idol and it's surrounded by water, whether it's the Queen of Heaven or Isis, or whether it is the phallus, like the kind of like, I guess in DC is the Washington Monument, that big tall pyramid looking thing, obelisk. Um and the obelisk is right over the water. It reflects on the water, and the water has the memorial of all the veterans that like lost their lives or whatnot. Um, so all of his there's going to be an idol with water, and that is a symbol of the contract between Esau and the marine kingdom. Um, France, Spain, Portugal, Britain, and Dutch um, all run their land on maritime laws. Maritime law is water laws. Um, we know that the transatlantic slave trade, transporting over water, um, was big, and it's crazy, or what a coincidence that all of these nations are the nations that were involved in the slave trade. That's also why um, that's also why the US uses verbiage of maritime law, such as, ships set sail. When we sail, SALE, meaning the spending of money, or the um, passing of money, or currency, um, current, the water, the currents, and the sea. Um, all of this has to do with, the marine kingdom. We send our children to schools of fish. Um, we use words like liquidation. All of this is the marine kingdom. When you come into, you are a vessel. Ships are called vessels. When you come into this, when a ship docks, that's called, the ship is birth. You are a vessel. You come into this world through your mother's water and her stomach by a birth. And then you dock. You are delivered by the doctor. Um, so that's why this language is heavily surrounded by the marine kingdom. Okay, so in Genesis 1, the Most High gave Adam dominion of the earth, air, land, and water. Adam was God Almighty in the earth. He was eternal, created as the angels, and after the fall, the adversary and the marine kingdom became the ruler of the earth. That's why the Catholic Church, um, their power is Dagon, the fish deity, which you put one R in there and is dragon. Um, the enemy. And this is why the Catholic Church is also called the Universal Church. Universal means land, water, and air. They are saying that they have the right to rule land, water, and air. And that is also why the Pope wears that Moultrie that mitre hat that looks like a fish, and he has the fish symbol. That's why the fish symbol is, a part of Christianity and all of that. Because we are worshiping the power of the seas. Um, okay. So Esau made a deal with the adversary and the marine kingdom. So that is why all the idols are surrounded by bodies of water. I already said that. So you have the queen of the coast. You have the area like in the Atlantic that is uh, what is that? The Bermuda Triangle that no boats can go over or fly over. No boats can travel that way, and no planes can fly over that way. They actually divert their flights to go around because so many boats and planes go missing. And the Queen of the Coast runs that area, which is a real, like, I don't know, wicked evil mermaid, but also like a spirit. The Queen of the Indian Ocean. You have a lot of planes and stuff that go down and go missing over the Indian Ocean as well. Um, these are serpent deities, reptilian deities that have been running the world. Um, there are water spirits that dwell in the rivers and the springs. So the rivers and the springs, um, there are actual deities that that are over these bodies of water. And I wrote down the scripture of Isaiah, it's Isaiah 43 that says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And once again, that is why the Catholic Church and the Christian Church push baptism, and that's why, because that's a seal to their kingdom and their deity. And so if you're, people that are saying, I would have been baptized in the name of JC, yeah, you were baptized under TAMUZ. You were baptized under HORUS, JESUS, HORUS. That's who you were baptized under. All right, so then you also had the passing us over the waters, not only through the transatlantic slave trade, but the Arab slave trade and the Middle Passage. Um, Let me see if I saved this. I hope I did, because I just thought of something that was really important. Um, I saw a video where this person had went on like touring um the different ports in the Caribbean. You could take a tour of those ports. And this particular one thing that we don't realize is that when you came, when you were on the ports, there were whales on the port. And when the slaves got off the boats during whether they were being transported back or forth, and remember I told you all that 95% of the slave trade took place with Indian slaves being shipped out, 5% of slaves shipped in, but from West Africa, but 95% of the slave trade was Indians, different tribes, the lost tribes, um, being shipped over to Africa and to Europe and to um, the islands and to South America, various countries in South America. But when the slaves got off the boat, they had to actually drink from a well, and they had to recite some words that were written over the well, like a spell or a ritual. So I'm gonna find that, even if I have to pause this video while I find it, because I think that that's very important to show. Okay, you all, I found the video. I'm just going to let it play. This is playing under fair use for educational purposes only. This channel is not monetized. Fair use.
trip the other day to Badagry in Lagos to the slave ports because I love my history and I just wanted to understand more details what happened. And guys, I was not ready for this. These chains were literally hung on their necks 18 hours a day while they worked at the farms. Like, they had chains for their lips, they had chains for the ankles. I was legit shocked at how heavy they were. Did you know that black babies also had their slave chains? Who would do that to babies? There are so many details about the types of chains. I got too emotional, I couldn't record it. I really wasn't ready for this. From here, we went to the barracoons. Now, barracoons are where 40 slaves were held. 40. This is where they pooped, this is where they peed, and that was the only source of ventilation. Look at how tiny this room is. A lot of them died from the heat and the malnutrition. By the way, 40 slaves were equivalent to that umbrella. From there, they were taken to the ports and were transported on a ship to the other side. Like, you could literally see Benin Republic right there. So a lot of the slaves from Badagry were from Nigeria and from Benin Republic. They were taken to an unknown destination. They knew that as soon as they got here, that they were not going to get back home. Now, I kind of felt ashamed that I had to have someone to help me through this place because they had to do this on their own. And this journey that took me 20 minutes took them 3-4 days, and they died along the way. From exhaustion, fatigue, name it. Now, this is where it gets freaky. This is the attenuation well. Apparently, my ancestors were so aggressive and would rather die than get on that ship. I mean, yeah, me too. And so they were forced to drink out of this well, which was a concussion, jazz, and they would lose their memories and get less aggressive. This was a script they were forced to recite before getting on
So do you see it? She says they were forced to drink from that well, which still exists, and this well caused them to lose their memories, and they were told to recite. They had to recite. It says, "I am leaving this land. My spirit leaves with me. I shall not come back. I shall not come back, nor my shackles do not break. It is the shackles that holds the ship down. My ancestors bear me witness. I shall not return. This land shall depart. My soul do not revolt. My soul goes along with me. I depart to the land unknown. I shall not return." And I don't know what the rest of it says, but they had to drink from these wells and recite these spells, and then they had to get baptized in water under the Christian or the Catholic Church, under Christianity or under Catholicism. So anyway, yeah, and so that is still all a part of the water kingdom. Like now, it's just everything is coming together. Um, Many of us were drowned and thrown overboard. We were drowned in water. There are jokes about Black people not knowing how to swim. But when I think about all this, I was saying that we actually were being sacrificed to the these water deities. Um, there are throughout the United States, there are hundreds of Indian towns that are now lakes, and the inhabitants in the whole towns were flooded underwater. Um, Remember, I shared with you all what really happened on um, that last day of I believe it was April of 1492 when Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand expelled us from Spain. Um, Everyone was murdered on those ships and thrown overboard, and then those ships set sail to America. Um, I even noted here where when Abraham was walking to sacrifice Isaac, and it said that he started to walk in water, and the water came to his ankle, then his knees, and then up to his shoulder. He was like head deep in the water, and but when he looked around, he said, I don't remember water being here. And so and then he rebuked the enemy, and the water dissipated. So before I go, I also wrote that in Revelations it says that uh, a creature was going to rise out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns, and this creature was going to um try to fight the prince of princes and the heavenly hosts when they come back. And we were told, like, oh, sea means people, it's going to be a bunch of people, or various nations of people and stuff like that. But no, I'm thinking, we know that there is a sea monster that name begins with the L, and I believe that we're actually going to see this gruesome creature come from the sea. Because now we're getting a lot of talk about what's really going on in the sea and how the sea is only explored by 5%. We've seen, well, I've seen videos of all these unidentified flying objects coming from out of the sea or going down in the sea like very fast. So we don't know what's going on, and we are underwater. We're in a dome. Genesis tells us that the Most High divided the waters from the water. So it's like we're in the middle. The dome has a ice and water up over it, and then we have the ocean and the water beneath. So we're like in the middle with all this water. And even when um the flood happened, the Bible tells us that when it started raining those 40 days and nights, that there was like the plates in the earth burst open so water can also gush up that way. And then also from above, it's like the waters or the firmament cracked or whatever, so that water would be flooded down both ways. So that's what helped the earth to flood. It just wasn't 40 days of heavy rain. It literally like the the things that were holding the water back cracked, so that water was gushing from both ways, from the sea and from up above. So anyway, it's a whole lot to go with that. A lot more research to do regarding those topics, but I just wanted to bring this to you all's attention. And anyway, you all have a blessed weekend. Shalom. Stay in prayer, and I pray that we all have the wherewithal to endure to the end. Have a good day, family.